Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where it's time to begin a new campaign here, and credit to Kentogan for this idea. What we're going to be doing is we're going to hop into here. I'm probably going to go with just a sandbox. I don't tend to like having the objectives. I tend to prefer sandboxing it and making our own objectives. I think that's more fun, personally. But we're going to hop in here, and the idea is we play as the East India Company, with the goals being as follows. Step 1, break away from England. Step 2, having our own customs union. And step 3, controlling all or most of the opium. We corner the market on opium. Opium is incredibly important in the mid to late game for military conquest, right? And then there's the whole, like, China opium wars thing. We'll see what ends up happening with that. For right now, I think this is a very interesting start. The East India Company is going to be fascinating. Can we maintain rule over this vast landscape while appeasing its shareholders? I think this is going to be very different from our other campaigns that we've done thus far. There are no wars currently, no active diplomatic plays. We have a bunch of puppets, but we are dominioned by Great Britain. We're going to need to break away from them, and the question is, when are we going to do so? As far as game rules go, we are going to... Can we just, reset to defaults? I don't think we had any changes here, but we're just going to go on default game rules. And the East India Company is going to be a very, very different kettle of fish from what we've played thus far. I still want to try the Chinese game at some point, but I think this is a fascinating idea. Let's go ahead and do this. And I think I even already have a name for the series at this point. You probably already know what it is, but we're probably simply going to call it Opium Wars. So one thing I want to do here is I want to go into... Is there a map mode to show... No, trade goods don't really exist in that way in this game. So we would need to take over, like, the opium trade, right? And where exactly is opium created? Well, it's this general region, right? I think it's... I think, like, Afghanistan generates quite a lot of it, if I recall correctly. That's just an impression that I have, though. We'll have to explore around. Yeah, opium plantations here. Opium plantations here. In the Sikh Empire, we can take a look down over this way. Okay, we don't really see too much over there, but this is going to be really interesting. We're at plus 60k. We have a pretty good gold reserve to start with. Our investment pool is a little low. We have some unrealized taxes. So the East India Company Malaya is currently isolated. That is down over here. And we need to avert mutiny. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a moment. We should probably build a port over here, since this is currently isolated. So we'll do that as a fairly top priority. We're going to need an active research, and oh, this is quite different from the old version of the game. Reminder, we are on the newest version of the game as of this recording, version 1.2, and this definitely looks different, but I think this is largely the same thing. It's just showing us here what it unlocks, which is a nice little quality of life. I like that. So realistically, I want to look at what our... Do we currently have any opium plantations? We do. So for automatic irrigation, we would require pump jacks and railways there. Okay, so both of those are going to be important. We want to get our opium plantations maxed out as soon as possible, right? So in terms of our tech, we should look for pump jacks and railways. Railways are here. Where are pump jacks at? Here. So we go down, like, intensive agriculture, or even, like, prospecting into nitroglycerin, but we do need intensive agriculture for that. Okay. I think for now we're going to go for railways, so probably atmospheric engines into railways would be the idea. So we'll go ahead and do that. Our literacy is very, 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 very low. And that's fairly accurate for how the East India Company tends to operate. I want to take a look at our laws here. So we're a chartered company. And we're actually set up as a presidential republic. That's interesting. Child labor is allowed, obviously. And I'm sure... Okay, we have legacy slavery. We don't have active slavery right now. Noted. Nobody wants to ban that. We don't have health systems. We don't have schools. We are purely about the finances. That makes sense. And we're going to roleplay that to some degree. We're probably going to transition into a more modern nation a little bit later on in this, I would guess. We'll see how that goes. This is the outliner here. I wanted to look at the journal. So, consolidate colonial rule. At least 7 of the following must be true. So, essentially, we have to take over, like, Burma. Okay. So we have to take over neighboring nations over here, or at least subjugate them. And subjugation is probably the way forward. We do have a lot of vassals right now. And we only have 20 years in which to do this. They would not accept being made into a protectorate. We can check in over here right now to see if any of these would just straight up diplomatically accept it. I would be shocked if any of them did. And no, they don't. So this is held by France. This is held by Portugal. Sure. Okay, so that's all noted. What do we got going on here? Low market access in South Bengal. We cannot build railways at this point, obviously. So there's not a lot that we can do about that, except build ports. So each port is going to get how much infrastructure? 5. So we need 2 levels of port in South Bengal to get this up to positive infrastructure. Cool. We have a bunch of... Oh, wow, that's some terrible taxation capacity. Okay. Wow, that's absolutely awful. Sure. So each of these are going to produce 50. That's going to take some work. And we only build 15 construction right now, so that's noted as well. For the moment, we should just queue up 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This should be 7. And then at this point, the math starts to get a little bit harder. So, let's do it this way. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400. This isn't complicated. This is 50 bureaucracy, 10 taxation capacity. I'm thinking about this completely wrong. Okay, so this needs to be 3. This needs to be 4 right now. And this is going to be probably a short or a long-term project, right? That's fine. So this is going to need to be 6. This is going to need to be 16. This is going to need to be 26. This is going to need to be 31. This is going to need to be 90. Oh my. This is going to need to be 94. This is going to be very lengthy. This is going to need to be 1300. Or rather 130. No, 128. Okay, there we go. This one will also, well, this one will need to be 129. So this is a very long-term plan, right? We're not going to be rushing to get this done anytime soon. This will need to be 141. This will need to be 151. And this will need to be 221. Okay, so something like that. That is not going to be a priority. We'll start working in Ceylon and getting that brought up to scratch. Okay, so that's all well and good. Fabric is currently expensive. We should go through our buildings and make sure that these are on dye workshops. What else can we do? We should make sure that these are all set to auto-expand, although I don't expect to auto-expand anytime soon. Arms industries should be reasonably fine. I think shipyards are okay for the moment. Leaded glass. Sure. Lathes sound good. Okay. And we should probably, looking at our journal here, we need to either consolidate the colonial rule or is this and reform the Indies? What does this require? We need to enact free trade, land-based taxation, and we do not have serfdom enacted. Okay. So laws-wise, what of those can we do right now? And we don't have any institutions. Right. So we need to switch over to free trade. We can't do that at the moment. We need to not have land-based taxation and not have serfdom. Okay. So, as far as our serfdom goes, eventually we'll want to move out of here. We can't do this right now. And can we work on getting our land-based taxation changed? No. Not right now. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. We should probably immediately begin work on getting consolidating colonial rule done. Okay. Noted. So Burma. Burma would be a good priority target. There are 4 states to conquer here. Britain would join with us. So I think our first priority is averting mutiny. Once that's done, we can look to break away from Britain. And I feel like that's going to be a doable thing. Oh yeah, that's almost certainly going to be a doable thing. But we can leverage Britain right now. So, do we want to conquer states, or do we want to make puppet? I feel like make puppet is the way to go since we have this time limit. Yeah, I do feel like that's the way to go. So, who might join? Cambodia, China, Vietnam, Luang Prabang, Johor, Siam, Selangor, and Perak. Do we care about any of those? 445 compared to our 660, and Britain's 840. So probably not. We should look at our buildings here. Barracks-wise, this is about the best we can hope for. We should go down to a cargo port for sure. Okay, I wanted to check through our rural areas and get all of these going to auto-expand. That said, we're going to be constructing out here for a little bit. We should probably consider bringing up our construction capacity. We have no radicals and no loyalists, which is wild, but that's fine. Okay. So I think this is all good for the moment. Do we have access to additional gold farms? Or gold farms? Gold mines. No. Those are all maxed out right now. Opium plantations are going to be important. And actually, we can build a lot of those. But for the moment, we've got a lot going on here. There are no private constructions. Aristocrats are investing in food industries. Okay, sure. We could go down to iron frame buildings. And I feel like that might not be a bad idea. So we'll do that immediately. And do we want to expand our construction industry? Yes. Yes, we do. In South Bengal, we're going to bring this all the way up to 15. I didn't mean to queue the one in Madras. So we'll get rid of that. The idea behind this is our investment pool. What can we actually use our investment pool on right now? Yeah, that's all fine. What can we use that on? I know we can see that from here. Right, we're on mercantilism right now. We don't appear to be able to see that. What can we use our investment pool on currently? That is important to know. With the current economic system law, yeah. Oh, here we go. Cool. So we can subsidize infrastructure, subsidize trade centers. There's little central control here. Okay. Noted. So we'll go ahead and tick forward here. And we'll see how that goes. So currently, our private construction is using up a little bit of our existing construction. That's okay. I feel like we'll be fine financially bringing this up a bit. Cool. A lot of knowledge spreading to us. I like it. And of course, this diplomatic play is ongoing. I do want to make a puppet here. Done. Okay, so we're going to need to mobilize Sir Henry Godwin here. He's going to go down to the front over here. That'll be fine. I selected the front instead of sending him. We're going to send him down to the front. There we go. And Sir Henry Havelock, both of our generals are named Henry, is going to head on up to the Pegu front. Cool. So, of course, Britain is attacking Persia, and that's fine. They can do that. They're looking to puppet Persia. Okay. We're hoping that they have some issues later on, and we can use that to break free. But we're certainly going to look to take over Burma here. So we're going to need to move pretty quickly to avert this mutiny. Building his arts academy? Okay, that's fine. Reforming the Indies is something that we will definitely work on. Oh, we need to also improve the GDP by 50%. That's something we'll do too. Cool. So we've got 19 years on consolidating the colonial rule here. Okay. Portugal rivaled us. Hilarious. And let's see what's going on here. We could sway Britain. And I actually don't know how to do that, now that I think about it. We have a sway that Britain would accept. And how do we utilize that sway? Hanover abandoned Great Britain. Hilarious. The question is, do we really care about swaying Great Britain here? I'm not sure that we do. Burma is currently fearful, and we should take this over quite easily. So, China just declared neutrality. That's it. It's over. It's absolutely over. So that's great. We are working our way through constructions of our construction sectors here. And those will finish up slowly over time. Our construction queue is very, very, very long right now, but we'll get there. As I said, all of these government administrations are actually a very low priority, and we'll see if we actually end up needing them. Some of this may improve over time as our laws change, and as our production methods get better. But for now, this should be reasonably fine. Cool. Wood and iron are currently expensive, and we'll work on that as soon as we're done with these construction sectors and ports. Those are our current top priority, with the absolute top being our construction sector. We've already more than doubled, almost tripled our construction speed. So that's great. This is down to 10,000 weeks. Perfect. And nobody's going to do anything here. I'm pretty sure Burma's just going to back down, right? Pretty certain about this. They should, anyway. And once we get the consolidation done, we'll probably start working on annexing some of this. We have a lot of puppets. There's no doubt about that. A whole lot of puppets. Okay, so we're in the countdown to war now. Are they going to back down? We'll see. The AI in this patch seems a lot less willing to back down. So we'll see if war breaks out. We can see that our income is definitely dropping, but we're also pulling some out of our investment pool. Good to know. We're not going to want to expand our construction sectors too much beyond this for the moment. But wood, fabric, and iron are all currently expensive, and we will want to do something about that. Cool. So we're now down to 6,500 weeks. And war with Burma has broken out. 2 arms. And we are in position out over here. We shouldn't have too much of a problem. We're nearly unopposed down on this side. Okay, so there's no general here. Previously, in the last game, which was upgraded from the previous version, in the last game, if there's no general, then the battle stalled out and bugged. We'll see if that happens here in this new game. Hopefully, with it being a new game, that won't happen. This is an awkward fight that we're actually awkwardly winning. Actually, it's not that awkward. This is a good fight. What am I talking about? So do we win this? Does the fight end, is the question. We'll find out. So far, it's not stuck. Okay, yeah, it looks like that was the problem. Cool. So hopefully we won't have that issue with the new patch. We're almost done with our construction sectors. We do see that we're a little bit negative financially right now. That's fine. We have a cushion, so I'm not too concerned about that. And we're fighting a war right now, so it's really not all that shocking. GDP-wise, our GDP is not amazing, but we'll work on that. So the ports are the top priority right now. I would like to deal with some of these expensive goods, specifically wood and iron. So I'm leaning towards getting some additional iron mines going. These are queued up, and are they auto-queued down here? They actually are. So these auto-queues we're going to turn up. Like that. The government administrations we don't care about, but we definitely want to prioritize these ports. So we'll go ahead and do that. Something along these lines should do the trick. Cool. There's an earthquake down over here. Rude. The state will have to figure it out. Why are both of these guys at this front? Why don't you come on down to this front? You don't need to both be up here. We're fine. So Burma's going to fall. We'll have that taken over very soon here. And our constructions are going better, that's for sure. This is down to 4,000 weeks instead of 12,000. That's definitely an improvement. Cool. So these battles are going well. And we shouldn't have any major problem here. So what is our next target going to be after Burma? We need to look at our journal here. We need Kachin. Who is this? I'm unsure. The state of China? No, this is part of Burma. Okay, this is talking about states, not nations. Got it. That's fine. We like this. So this is under our control now. Burma's going to fall very soon. This is going to get us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our states, I think, that we need. We'll see how that actually plays out. But yeah, I was assuming that these were nations, not that they were states. That's very interesting. But we're definitely going to continue to grab territory out over here, for sure. No doubt about that, and even expanding down over this way. How are we doing with our infamy right now? We are currently reputable, and that's looking good. No problem whatsoever there. We're going to win this battle easily. Burma is no real threat for us. And that's great. So we're currently at 95 construction. We're going to want to bring this up. We know from our America game that 5,000 feels about right. So that's going to be our overall target for construction. But of course we can't manage that right now. We're going to need to improve our economy a little bit before we do that. What is our taxation level? Okay. Noted. That's fine for the moment. So we are, of course, going to finish off Burma here. It's not going to be much longer. I expect them to fall momentarily. This is a very good battle for us. Excellent. Okay. Now, keep in mind that we're not exclusively building opium. That's not the goal here. We're not looking to exclusively control... Well, we're not looking to exclusively build opium and have our empire built entirely on opium. We're looking to monopolize opium. That's the idea here. We'll see how that ends up going. It's going to be a little bit difficult without a map mode to be able to see where... Actually, can we go into, like, the market and go to opium? Which is... That's dye. I forget what opium looks like. That's tobacco. That's tea. It's in here somewhere, but I've completely forgotten. Okay. Fantastic. We'll sort by mark. There it is. So can we see it here? Actually, yes. Okay. So we can see our opium from here. Beautiful. This is what we want then. Okay, sounds good. Let's wrap up this war and let's get this over. It is about time to put a cut in here, but I'm going to wait until this war with Burma is over. I want this war to be done by the end of the video. So let's go. Oh, we're on speed 3. Let's bump that up to speed 4. No wonder it feels a little bit slow. There we go. Perfect. So we've got these constructions underway, and there's all of this being auto-queued down at the bottom. Okay, cool. It's going to be a while before this is all good to go. That's for sure. Our GDP is slowly creeping up, but we are going to need quite a lot more. Burma just capitulated. Beautiful. So Burma's now under our control. Forbidden Greece, huh? Servicemen would become more radical. We'll make modifications. Cool. So I want to check in real quick on our journal here. That's 4 of the 7. Okay, fantastic. So next episode, we are going to continue working on consolidating the colonial rule. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Rogue Corvid, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.